This episode of Comments from the Peanut Gallery is dedicated in memory to Jacob Allen Kurtz. Rest in peace, baby brother. I love you.
What's up, everybody? This is Comments from the Peanut Gallery. I'm your host, Jordan Kurtz, aka KurtzEF. I'm here live with my boy DJ KO of Table Manners DJ Group, and still with Def Jam right now. Or how's that looking for you, man?
So the Def Jam thing, I will be working with a rep that actually is a part of Def Jam, but me myself, I won't be with Def Jam. So I'll be definitely working with them when he comes out. He actually goes by Route Runner. So when he comes out to the West Coast, I'll be doing some shows with him to basically represent the local talent in Colorado.
That's awesome,
so,
man.
Yeah.
Very good. So Kevin, where can people follow you?
So everything on social media is going to be That Boy DJ KO. It's actually spelled right. So THATBOY DJ KO at everything. So that's my Twitter handle. That's my IG. That's my Facebook. And coming soon, my website as well too. So I already have that name, domain already bought and all that. So
nice, man. That's legit. Sounds like you're having a pretty strong branding presence out there across the digital sphere. Mm-hmm. Kevin, how long have you been DJing for?
So June will actually be 6 years that I actually started DJing. I actually picked it up when I was in the Air Force, and I was deployed. I was actually deployed in Abu Dhabi. So my first official gig was an international gig. It was a pool party in Abu Dhabi, and it basically was a situation where we had a pool party for basically everybody that was on base. So it was cool. It was a good time. So yeah, 6 years. About that.
That's a hell of a ride so far at this point. Going from being in uniform now to being a civilian. Mm-hmm. What all type of music do you play in your gigs or in your sets? I should say.
So with my sets, growing up, wherever I grew up at, I've lived everywhere. Not because of the military, but because of my family, and then college, and then after college and all that. So I like hip hop, R&B, of course, funk, soul. My bread and butter is gonna be, of course, dancehall, soca, calypso, Latin music, EDM. Is actually what I actually first started doing when I first started DJing. I love house. So anything. I could even mix country if the situation calls for it. But so I try to. My motto is is basically I have all lanes covered. I could play any genre, rock any crowd, anytime, anywhere, any part of the country or in the world. You know what I'm saying? So I can play anything.
Rock the house. That's what that is definitely something that you do. I've had the opportunity to come out the last couple of years up here in Northern Colorado and see a lot of your different sets at the different spots around here. Definitely know that anytime that you see DJ KO on the bill that night for a club or the bar, the night spot that you're going to, know that you're going to have good music all night, ladies and gentlemen.
Definitely.
So just kind of in that sense, you were in the service. Service was following you. You were a track athlete in college, right?
Correct. Yeah. So I actually ran track for Liberty University, and it's actually located in Lynchburg, Virginia. So we were actually between UVA and Virginia Tech. So very competitive state. I mean it's Virginia, but So I ran track for 4 years. I was actually a high school All-American in the long jump, and I carried into Liberty University. From there, I actually was sponsored by a track club, and I actually was running professionally for a year, and and then that was really it. Just did it for a year, and my body really couldn't handle that type of training because it's different from college, and I didn't really take care of myself like I was supposed to. I was out partying, all that, so.
Sometimes life catches up, right?
Yeah, that body broke down real quick.
That's understandable. So what made you from that point, being a college athlete, going through being a pro runner? Mm-hmm. How did you end up in uniform?
So basically, after college, I actually got my bachelor's in exercise science, and I always wanted to basically have my own gym, training facility to train athletes because I didn't really get the proper training that I needed going into college, so I wanted to do that. So did personal training down in Fort Myers, Florida for about almost 2 years, and that's when the economy tanked or whatever. So I had the choice to ride it out or get like a job, and at the time they were like no job. It was a crazy time. So being in the Air Force is something that I've always wanted to do. Because secretly I wanted to be a pilot growing up. Actually, my major in college when I first started was I was going to major in math and then minor in aviation, to be a pilot and stuff or whatever. So that didn't work out. And when I found out that the Air Force would actually pay, for my master's, basically get a whole new degree again, at the time I thought I was going to, tour the world and all that stuff, but that opportunity came, so I took it because I needed the money, and the economy was rough. It was rough, around those times. So
makes total sense there. Now with you on the professional endeavor with DJing and being in the entertainment industry, you've got some projects that you have coming up in the near future. Do you want to shed some light for the listeners out there on what you have on the forefront?
Yeah, so we actually so me and one of my table manor DJs, we got a project coming out with Scotty ATL and the Cool Club. It's a mixtape that we're going to put out. It's probably going to come out in the next 2 to 3 weeks. And it's basically just trying to kind of bridge that gap with Colorado and Atlanta, because a lot of artists from Atlanta are starting to come up to Colorado because it's an untapped, market. And the super big artists in Atlanta, of course, is Future, Migos, and all that stuff. But there's other talent down in Atlanta that's huge in Atlanta, but not really huge outside, especially in the Midwest. So we have that coming out with Scotty ATL. He's going to be hosting that, and then also I actually just got off our conference call tonight with Taylor Manor DJ conference call, and Ro. We call him Digital Dope. He's actually one of Zaytoven's agents / managers or whatever. So we got everything locked in for 420. So Zaytoven is going to be in Denver during 420 weekend. He's doing something with Live Nation, I think, on Thursday. No, actually the 420. Yeah, actually that Friday he's doing something with Live Nation, and then that Saturday we're going to be doing a DJ meet and greet. So he's going to have a couple of his artists, and whoever are the leftover artists in town that fools with Zaytoven will definitely come through, show face. I know we did one last a couple years ago in Atlanta, and we had Cassius J come through. We had Bizarre from D12. He came through. We had a couple of people from Love and Hip Hop at the time come through and stuff. So everywhere that we do our Taylor Manor meet and greet with Zay, artists they just come through. So those are the two projects that I'm focusing on now, and then in 3 weeks, I'm actually going to be flying to Aruba to be DJing on Magic 96.5 in Aruba. So I'll be DJing on there. I don't really have all the details yet on times and stuff, but if you follow me on social media, you'll get that.
Absolutely. Make sure that you guys go and follow that boy DJ KO on all social media platforms. Make sure you stay up to date as far as all of his appearances and where he's going to be performing these sets. Like I say, just want to make sure that you realize who you're listening to today. This is Comments from the Peanut Gallery. You can find us online at www.galleriesofpeanuts.com. You can subscribe to us on iTunes, Google Play Music, Stitcher. We're also available to follow on all social media platforms, or all major ones, I should say, at least. On Facebook, it's at Peanut Sports. On Instagram, Comments from the Peanut Gallery. And on Twitter, it is Peanut Sports. Or excuse me, it's at Peanut Podcast for Twitter. My mistake. Now, just to kind of transition and ask you a question on the inspiration side as a DJ. Where do you find your, who do you look to from history that you would say, like, this was kind of my role model. This was a guy who really kind of made me believe that this is an avenue for me to to pursue.
Well, I mean, growing up in Brooklyn in the 80s/90s, everybody most people in my family were DJs. Everybody were DJs. we didn't have iPods and stuff like that. So basically, we needed somebody to play music. So growing up, listening to DJs, I didn't really follow any DJs because it was just like, it wasn't a thing. It wasn't like, I don't know. For me, it wasn't a thing to do because everybody was a DJ and everybody was good, so I didn't have any favorites. But it wasn't until, just growing up as a, teenager and stuff, and I started actually looking at DJs and stuff, DJ Jazzy Jeff for sure was, my top favorite DJ. Kid Capri, Funk Master Flex and all that stuff. And then once I actually met DJ Jazzy Jeff, he actually came to our Deploy location. He did a show and, got to talk to him, got to, basically watch him do his thing. And that the next day I bought all my equipment. So he's the one that actually got me started DJing. But the person that actually kind of made me the DJ that I am is my homeboy, my friend, DJ Griff Gotti down in Fort Myers, Florida. I'm a diverse DJ, and he's like 10 times more diverse than I am. You know what I'm saying? So he's another person that gives me inspiration. A lot of producers give me inspiration too. Like Kate Trinata. There's an artist that's actually from Colorado Springs. He goes by Stro Elliott. Those are the two people that they do DJ, but they're not DJs. They're producers. So them, and then of course. That's the core. Those 4 people that basically kind of mold me into the DJ that I am, and plus listening to a lot of the local DJs in town. Anywhere I go, I try to find a DJ and listen to them, learn from them, because every DJ is different. They can all play the same songs, but they all deliver it differently, and I want to learn why they deliver it this way instead of that way, and kind of the ins and outs of how each DJ. So that gives me inspiration too. So yeah.
Have you done any original production yourself?
I have not. I do not produce. I don't make music. A lot of people ask me if I do, and I don't have the passion, the patience. Like, I let the producers do the producing, and I'll do the DJing. And so I don't try to cross lanes. You'll have a lot of people that want to do everything, and that's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know Diplo, he produced. Also Diplo too. He I met him in Vegas, and I actually went to his pool party a couple years ago, and he actually made me. He actually gave me the. I don't know if it's like, I want to say mojo or the spark, or the basically like, okay,
kind of gave you the confidence.
Yeah, so him too, but he does everything. I'm a DJ. That's it. Just one title. I don't have 17 titles like everybody else.
Hey, I mean, at that though, at least you're great at what you do within your specialty. Now, with everything on the forefront with you, what at this point we've kind of talked about your path and where you've been as a DJ. If you had to say one moment so far that was kind of like a, I'm kind of making it, or I've made it type of moment, what is it?
I've had a couple, and it's hard to kind of pinpoint like I've made it, because like I'm an athlete at heart, so I'm really hard. I have not even came close to even hitting my potential yet. Like, not even, and I know that, you know what I'm saying, because there's a lot of things about DJing and about music that I don't know. Like, I don't know anything about music. I just know what sounds good to me. Now, once I start learning, the different parts of, DJing, and this is, it's gonna go from there. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know, yeah.
that's understandable there. Is there KO, is there anybody you want to plug?
So definitely, I mean, of course, my table man of DJs, all over the world, Fleet DJs, Shack Food Radio. So I'm actually one of the DJs for Shack Food Radio. So y'all need to check him out. He's actually a dope DJ too. A lot of people don't know that. Shack is actually pretty dope. My manager, Autumn Speaker, she has starting her own, I'll say entertainment company, which will be Speaker Box Entertainment. and just all the DJs, man. Like the DJs don't really get the love and the appreciation that they do. It's like I don't know, man. I just like every DJ, regardless of the skill level, you know, I fool with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like I kick it with all DJs. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people feel that, you know, just because my talent is here that, you know, I think I'm, you know, better than everybody, and I'm not. Like I'll go and sit down and listen to a DJ on their first night ever DJ, and I'll go listen to them. You know what I'm saying? So that type of stuff. So shout out to all the DJs and, you know, all the listeners, and, you know, and just people that, you know, make that gives us the motivation to do, you know, stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? I know this is a passion for you, you know, and once you get people to listen and to follow, you know, it gives you that extra motivation you need to, you know, to go to the next step. So that, and then, you know, lastly, like my fans, man, like I've had a lot of loyal fans. I've had resident spots, you know, in Greeley, Fort Collins, Cheyenne, Nebraska, Denver, and even, you know, Fort Myers. You know, I fly out there, you know, a couple times a year, and the same people that started with me in the beginning. I mean, it's a small group of them, but they've been following me from day one. You know, I know people that would drive to Cheyenne down to Denver to listen to me DJ. You know what I'm saying? That type of stuff. And when I'm in Fort Myers, you know, all my people come out and stuff, and, you know, my family, especially like my mom and dad, if I have anything going and they could tune in, they definitely will. My dad lives in St. Lucia, so for him to do that, living in another country to listen to me, I mean, that's dope too. So I got to,
That's awesome.
shout them out too. So yeah. So that's about it.
That's killer, man.
Yeah.
You know, that's like I say, Kevin has a pretty big footprint that he's been able to establish so far. So if you haven't had the opportunity to go out and check him out, make sure that you give yourself that opportunity, because you won't be disappointed.
Definitely.
Especially going out, you know, have a nice night of some coldies, you know, out with the friends, you know, bring the significant other out with you. It's going to be a good night of dancing, a lot of good vibes anytime that he's out on the ones and twos.
Definitely.
Just real quick from the comments from the Peanut Gallery side, got a couple of people that I would like to shout out. I want to give a shout out to Carlson Property Solutions. If you're in the northern Colorado area and you need any sort of quality home repair, restoration, or renovation services, make sure that you give Brian and Becca a call at 970-775-4274, or visit them online and check out a portfolio of their work at carlsonpropertysolutions.com. Once again, give Brian and Becca a call at 970-775-4274, or visit them online at www.carlsonpropertysolutions.com. And like I say, I want to shout out to FNG Precision Coatings, based out of California. They're a veteran-owned and operating metal platings company out there. Do some very great work. Make sure that you check them out online at www.fngprecision.com. Like I say, that's FNG Precision Metal Coatings, and you can look them up at www.fngprecision.com. Word comments from the Peanut Gallery. You can listen to us on iTunes, Google Play Music, Stitcher, any major social media platform. We have a presence as well. Galleriesofpeanuts.com. Make sure you check us out. So to transition back into our conversation here, KO, hip-hop is kind of a crazy thing right now. What are your thoughts on the state of the game? Or what's the state of the union on hip-hop, if you will, right now?
So with me, I have a different outlook than... No, I won't say a different outlook, but a lot of people feel the same way that I do. It just depends on, you know, who you are. With me, hip-hop, growing up with hip-hop and actually growing with hip-hop, hip-hop kind of molded a lot of us that are between the 30s and 30s and 40-year-olds. They hip-hop kind of mold us to the type of people that we are, or whatever. So I'm always going to be a fan of course, you know, like Biggie. Biggie's like, he's Biggie, you know, Tupac, you know, whatever. That was our generation, you know what I'm saying? It's rare to find kids or, you know, younger people listening to Tupac and Biggie, because that's not their generation, you know what I'm saying? Just like when it switched from disco to hip hop, disco people was not feeling it. They was not feeling it. They was just like, yo, this is garbage, this, you know, whatever. Now the disco people is bumping hip hop. And now, you know, hip hop kind of took a turn. Not saying it's worse. A lot of the original parts of hip hop is gone from the newer generation, but it's just that's their own thing, and it's dope. You know what I'm saying? Because when it first came, when that type of trap music came out, to me I liked it because growing up in Fort Myers, we were used to that southern sound, so it was like kind of dope to see finally the South actually getting some respect that they deserve, and now they took over the world. You know what I'm saying? So how can you get mad with something that's actually like it's a worldwide brand, you know what I'm saying? When it comes with the trap music, it's still hip hop is just like I don't want to say it's a subgenre, it's just it's different. Like you got your original, classic hip hop, and then you have your trap music, you know what I'm saying? Is it better? I mean, it depends. How old are you, what you like, what you listen to. I have a musical ear. I love everything. You know what I'm saying? I still listen to, funk every now and then. You know what I'm saying? I still listen to, Stevie Wonder. I still listen to Lionel Richie type stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to play that in the club, but then again, I might. You know what I'm saying? Because people my age, imagine I'm playing a Lionel Richie track and I bring in Future. You're like what who would do something like that? I would. You know what I'm saying? Because I love that generation of music and I like the new generation of music. So I don't think it's in a bad state. I just think it's changing. And the thing is, like, are you willing to change with it, or are you going to be stubborn and be like, oh, that's not real hip hop. Biggie is king, Tupac is king. I mean, yeah, they were king, but like that was like 20 years ago, going on 25 years ago. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole new. These kids that's even my daughters and my sons. They like music, but it's not like they're not gonna go and be like go play Biggie. They want to they want to hear Lil Uzi Vert. They want to hear Migos and stuff like that. So I think hip hop is good, man. Like it's actually the most listened to genre in the country, like hands down for the first time for the first time ever, because I guess it was rock and roll or something that was always the most listened to genre. Now it's hip hop. And it took over, so hip hop is good. It's in good hands, so I'm not worried.
You're a very positive man there, DJ KO. I have a little bit of a different thought with some of these new little rappers and whatnot out there, especially, if you follow me online, you could see my little Instagram ran off for, whatever little Tekashi Fruit Loops 69, whatever the hell your name is out there, and your bullshit that you're trying to pull, But that's a completely other conversation for another day on that side. I do think that across the board, there's good stuff that's still being produced, but I don't necessarily correlate or call that true hip hop. Mm-hmm. Like I'll call that I'll call it rap music.
Yeah.
I'll call it something within rap. But at least to me, growing up a fan, coming from the 90s, listening to, all the way through the early 2000s and up to this point, to me, true hip hop has substance to it in relation to something, on the lyrical content side. Mm-hmm. I understand that not everything is going to have that, and that's fine, because that's why there's a difference in my book between a rapper and an MC.
Yeah, I agree.
So just because you aren't an MC doesn't mean that you can't be a good rapper. Mm-hmm. Just like doesn't mean that you can't put out good rap music. That just doesn't mean that to me that's hip hop. Mm-hmm. I do think that there's still guys like Joey Badass and guys like that, Cole's, your Kendricks, those guys of the world that are still having a lot of very good substance that's within their music. And I'm just talking, those are the guys that's on the mainstream level from this era of artists. Naturally, I mean, you still have that project that came out with Fabulous and Jadakiss a couple months ago.
Ooh, that was fire.
That was absolutely fire, man. That speaks all my languages as a hip hop fan right there. Mm-hmm. That is hip hop to me. And that's where I have to ask you, being a New York man yourself, do you think that kind of era, that mid-2000s era of New York artists, kind of were their own worst enemy and drove it to this direction because they were all feuding with each other? Those New York stations were having a lot of confliction internally of, do you play 50 and then you can't play Fat Joe and all these other guys, and vice versa? And then right at around that time, that's when you started to see the crunk movement take off. That's when you started to see, Trillville and all these guys that had been kind of bubbling. 8 Ball and MJG had been huge on the underground circuit for a minute. 3-6 had been kind of doing their thing. But then that's when they really started to pop nationally. Would you say that or do you think that there's any correlation to the internal New York conflict that led to that? Because New York was always the boss when it came to hip hop.
Yeah.
If you weren't popping in New York, you weren't anywhere.
Exactly. And yeah, so and it's funny that you said that because I actually sat in on an interview at 105.5 The Beat down in Fort Myers. Is one of the other radio stations I DJ for. But Fat Joe actually he came in and that was one of the questions, you know what I'm saying? And he was just like, for him, he was in a situation where, he didn't have beef with people like that, and like it was just a bad situation for him to continue his music in New York. So he moved to Miami. He was like, I'm not dealing with that. So while New York, was fighting with each other, and the thing with New York is, what I'm saying, like New York cats, they have a swag about them and an arrogance about them that, only New York people could really understand. And when you get two New York motherfuckers together, it's a good thing and it's a bad thing, you know what I'm saying? Because we're so competitive. So while all that was going on, and me actually growing up in Florida, like the Southern music was like, it was so dope that they just needed an opportunity to be heard, and New York gave it to them, you know what I'm saying? And since then, like if you look at all the top songs, let's say top 10 or top 15 songs every year, most of the songs are from Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Like Outkast, like in the beginning, it was, Outkast, T.I., Jeezy. Wasn't TLC from Atlanta, or was that Houston?
I don't remember off the top.
But then Usher,
bring back a one hit wonder for you, Bone Crusher.
Yeah, Bone Crusher. You know what I'm saying? So like all that, Southern like dope music was coming out, and New York was too busy, being New Yorkers, and not saying that, it basically opened the window. And the thing with the South, you know what I'm saying, growing up in the South too, it's like, if we have one opportunity to do something, we're gonna put on a show, you know what I'm saying? And that's what Atlanta did, and it's not going anywhere. Like Atlanta is gonna run New York, not run New York, but Atlanta is gonna run the music scene for the next couple of decades. And it's not even just music, it's movies. And like I didn't even know like most of Black Panther was filmed in Atlanta. I didn't even know that.
I did not know that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know that. I don't even know if that's true. I saw it on Facebook, so who knows if that's true or not. But
might be fake news.
Could be.
Who knows? But we're gonna run with it for this sake.
Yeah, but even the movie industry and the fashion industry and all that stuff, and like going down to Atlanta these past couple of years, like it's the South meets Hollywood meets New York, because there's always something going on in Atlanta. The food is dope in Atlanta. The music is dope in Atlanta. The women are gorgeous in Atlanta. Like gorgeous women, and not just Black women, Latin women, white women, Asian women. Like everything about Atlanta is dope. Like you feel good, you look good, you want to look good. You know what I'm saying? The weather's always nice, and it's like, come on, man. And so Atlanta's gonna run things for a very long time, and I do believe that New York gave them that opportunity when they're too busy fighting each other and stuff. So yeah,
they opened up the door, and the ATL ran with it.
Yep, definitely.
And I feel like there's an entire new wave, even for that matter, of Atlanta artists that are kind of starting to take that next step. Isn't Russ from Atlanta?
Yeah,
Russ, and then Black. He's from Atlanta too, right?
Yep.
Along with unfortunately he's stopping producing music in the near future. What he said, but Donald Glover as well,
yep.
Childish Gambino.
Mm-hmm.
But once again, another example of someone who is multifaceted from that area that, for that matter, even has a show called Atlanta. That's one of the biggest shows on cable TV
it's
right
so
now.
Dope, yep. Mm-hmm.
Great show, by the way, out on FX if you haven't had a chance to watch it. With this era, with the artists that are on right now, where do you see things going with the game? Where do you see the trajectory of hip hop with some of the stuff going on right now? Or I guess maybe let me re-ask that question
Okay.
because I don't know if I pointed this in the right direction. Do you feel that some of this mumble rap stuff is more so, is it kind of like a fad the way that in a sense that to a certain extent crunk rap was kind of like fight music type rap, that sort of thing? Do you find this to be a fad, or do you really in your heart of hearts believe that this is the evolution of what hip hop is becoming?
So I believe it's evolution, and the reason why I say that is because Zaytoven, Future, and Cher did a commercial, a Gap commercial. Okay, you maybe saw it, you probably didn't see it or whatever, but basically it was basically bridging the gap. So you have the biggest, hip hop star right now, which is Future. You know what I'm saying? At that time when they made the commercial, which I feel he's one of the biggest hip hop stars. And then you have Cher, which is like one of the biggest stars, period. And they were basically singing a song over a Zaytoven beat. You know what I'm saying? So she's actually, singing a couple melodies, and then he's singing a couple melodies, and it's like, it's dope. So, and that's a Gap commercial. Gap is a worldwide brand and stuff, and a lot of anything that goes on with marketing and stuff, it's always trapped me. I don't think it's a fad. I think the mumble part of it will phase out, but the actual the beats and the actual flow, like the da 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 da, that's gonna be around for a long time. Now maybe the speech will, the lyrics will come out a little bit. We'll get there. The lyricism will actually get there eventually. And you can kind of see that now with Future. You can see that with a lot of people say Migos are mumble rappers, but you have to, like, if you live in the South, that's not mumbling. They're talking, like, they're rapping. But when they have that Southern spin to it or twang or whatever people think, they think it's mumbling. It's really not. Now they are some mumble rappers, you know what I'm saying, but they don't mumble rap all the time because they're not they just won't sell, you know what I'm saying? Because if they know when to do it and they know when not to do it, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I think that it's still evolving, but I think eventually that's current hip hop right now. Like if you say, hey Siri, play current hip hop, that's what's gonna come on. Like, Biggie's not gonna come on, Tupac's not gonna come on, So that generation, I'm not saying it's over and done with, but that was, 2 decades ago, going on 3 decades ago. You know what I'm saying? So now it's like a new generation. So I think it's going to evolve, and it will evolve again probably in another 20, 30 years into something else. And we're going to have the same argument, like, what is this new, whatever it is garbage, So
I think you're right
yeah,
there.
yeah.
I think that's a good point to make, that it's always going to be a, older generation kind of, old man angry pointing your finger at the next generation to a certain extent. But I'm just, like I say, I'm just conflicted on the side of things that with some of these guys, and it's maybe not necessary, because hey, I like my rappers to be authentic. Mm-hmm. If you're gonna talk some greasy shit and be a street guy, then be about your business.
Exactly.
That's why I don't respect guys like this Tekashi 6ix9ine or whatever this fucking dude's name is out there.
Yeah.
Like man, how you go in front of you? Then you try running in to jump 2 guys that your 4 guys can't beat up, and then right away you get dropped and you start getting stomped out, get your shoe fucking knocked off, and then you're trying to come off and play like you're still Mr. Badass. Sit your ass down somewhere. You took an L, 5 guys to 2, and you got your ass whooped and you came in late.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't know, like and for that matter, you're a child rapist.
Yeah, and see, that's one thing I didn't know. I don't play his music. I don't. Like the thing with the internet is, if you have a good gimmick, and I'm not saying that his music is gimmick. I'm not going to trash his music. He's an artist, so it is what it is when it comes to the music side of it. But when it comes to his personality, well, first of all, the whole sexual whatever he did with children, I don't. That's like, he already got a X in my butt. I will just never play his music. Period. You know what I'm saying? But the way that he presents himself, and I know he's from New York, and I know he's gang affiliated and all that stuff, but I'm just like, it comes a point where your gimmick is a gimmick, you know what I'm saying, and real recognize real, and eventually he's gonna fizzle out into whatever, I don't know. But the thing with him is, it's the internet. he has a large following, and it's unfortunate, but he has like millions and millions and millions of followers. You know what I'm saying? So
I don't understand.
It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? But if you have a good gimmick, and and if you're, I don't, and not to bash, the generation that's coming up, but they like different things. You know what I'm saying? And it's cool, and it's unique, and it's dope, and it's whatever. But they like what they like, and he'll eventually fizzle out because I don't think there's any DJ in Colorado that plays his music. You know what I'm saying? Because I haven't heard it. So he already lost one state.
Exactly.
An entire state. You know what I'm saying? So eventually, he'll fizzle out. He's making, obviously he's making a shitload of money. So I mean, do your thing. You know what I'm saying? Get your money up. But me as a DJ, I'm not rocking on his shit, man. Period.
No, I mean, I can agree with that, man. I would you say that maybe guys like him that have that sort of checkered past with very, very polarizing things, would an artist like that have had this sort of platform years ago? Say that you're in that 2000s era, somewhere around in there, when you had guys who, for lack of a better term, were really about that life. You try to talk some slick shit to like a Styles P or someone like that, he'll come by himself.
Yep.
You could take your whole crew and he'll come by himself. That sort of shit.
Yep. So, I mean, it's hard to say because times were different and social media wasn't even thought of yet. Oh, it probably was, but it wasn't as big as it is now. So I think what it is, like, social media is like a gift and a curse, and I think the curse part of it is you have people that feel that they could just pick up their phone, talk shit, hit a bunch of people, and they're a thug, and then when you see them in the street, they're a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Back in 2000, in 90s, 80s, there was none of that. You know what I'm saying? Like if a hip, especially in New York. If a hip-hop artist was talking shit, didn't matter if it was a local hip-hop artist or whatever, you're just talking shit, and you're talking shit, on the radio and this or that, and the person see you, it's going to be a fight, period. It's going to be a fight, but now with social media, people feel that, this is the world right here. So I can sit here and I can talk shit in my phone and get my, act like, put on a persona for people, and they feel that that's them, you know what I'm saying? And they're, that's fake because real, like I said, real recognize real. So a lot of these, to whatever his name is or whatever, they know who to talk shit to. Mm-hmm. They know who that they could bully. They know they know what they could get away with. You know what I'm saying? Because the people that they talk shit to talk shit as well. They're not going to do anything. But you'll never see, like, I'm surprised, Kodak say something like I fuck with Kodak and I play a lot of his music, and like his views on disrespecting like the hip hop legends, I don't agree with that, but he knows for a fact he can't go and talk shit to Jay-Z. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? He ain't talking shit to DMX. You know what I'm saying? He's not talking shit to T.I. Period. And he's from Florida. He'll never talk shit to Trick Daddy. You know what I'm saying? Because or Rick Ross. You know what I'm saying? They don't play that shit. So they know what to say and what to get away with to get, people to be, talking about them. You know what I'm saying? And like, that's I mean, that's my spin on it. So yeah.
I just think that, if you were to put like, say, like that Tekashi Cat coming from New York, you put him back in that same, mid 2000s time frame where we were talking about earlier, and you let a young 50 come after him.
Oh yeah,
ruthless, man. Yeah, there's nothing that even is left of that man.
There wouldn't have been no whatever his name is, Tekashi. I don't know.
Yeah, you think if I got the number 70 tattooed on me 70 times, I might become some sort of like SoundCloud star or something like.
Because that's the thing. Because you might have a following out there that likes stuff like that, so you will probably get a following. The thing is, like, the crazier you are when it comes to expressing yourself, and I don't think it's a bad thing to express yourself, but when it gets to that point, you have people that be like, yo, that's dope. They will follow you.
But you can't tell me that looking at this cat that has fucking the number 69 and a Gucci print tattoo, that, like, yo, my man, you don't have real friends. You have yes men around you.
Yeah.
Because if you had real friends, they'd have told you that shit is fucking stupid.
Yeah. Well, I hope and I pray that he, puts money aside, because I'm like, technology now, he can get all that stuff removed. Like, it's not a big deal, but I hope he's smart enough to invest his money. So when it comes time for him to grow up, because he's going to have to grow up eventually, that he has money to remove that. Because like, I know for a fact, like if I'm an artist, not an artist, but a promoter, I'm not having him come to my city. You know what I'm saying? Who, like, no. Because, like, no. Absolutely not. No.
People were up in arms and went crazy when Gucci got the ice cream tattooed on his face. This fucking guy has Jigsaw from the Saw movies.
Yep. Yep.
So, I don't know if that's something that I'm wanting to put out on my club flyers or anything like that.
Nah, I'm cool. I'm cool on that one.
Or especially, just knowing what that kind of brings with it. Mm-hmm. We've covered a lot of topics here tonight. Is there something at all, or I guess let me retract for a second. You do more than just your club appearances.
I do. Yes.
Talk to the people about some more of the stuff that before we part ways. Let the people know what else they can find you for.
So any type of DJing services that you need, I have done, minus a bar mitzvah. That's the only thing that I haven't done yet, and I'm trying to figure out a way to do it. Like, honestly, but I do weddings, I do grand openings, I do in-house stuff. Anything that you just need music, or a DJ, or to set a mood, or a celebration, or I even got asked to do a funeral. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like any DJ service that you need, I provide it, and I've done it. And low key, like I'm, building my wedding, repertoire when it comes to like equipment and stuff like that, because that's a market that tapping into that market is not something that I like. I hate weddings, but I love them at the same time. I only could probably do like 2 or 3 a year. You know what I'm saying? So anything like that. I'm starting to learn more about sound and lights and stuff like that. I think that's something that I'll probably end up starting to do, later on in life, to provide that. But for right now, any DJ service that you need, I got you locked.
Definitely. Make sure that you guys check out that boy DJ KO on all social media platforms. Do you have a specific bookings address or anything that people send off info to?
Yeah, so like I said, my manager actually runs my social media. So if you hit me up directly, if you hit up my Facebook directly, my personal page, I'll respond. If you hit up my fan page, my manager will definitely respond, because like I just social media right now, like I have Twitter, I have this, I have that, and I have emails out the wazoo, and then I have my work email. So I'm just like, the more that I could pass off to her, I could definitely do that. But I think her information for booking, you could either do thatboydjko at gmail.com or speakerboxentertainment@gmail.com. Hit up any of those for booking, or just hit up my personal page. Like I actually reply to every message except spam. So, yeah.
Nice. Make sure that you look up Kevin DJ KO. Gonna give you the best DJ services that you could possibly find up here in the northern Colorado area, and for that matter, the man is mobile. He's hustling, ladies and gentlemen. He's not afraid to take on a gig and head on the road either. Where on average do you say is your general footprint?
So I cover my bread and butter right now. On a weekly basis is going to be Greeley, Fort Collins, Denver. So those 3 cities I hit every single week. I just came back from Scottsbluff, Nebraska, so I do that every couple months. I do a lot of stuff with the Air Force in Cheyenne, and personal stuff up there. So anything in the northern Colorado, Cheyenne, Scottsbluff, Panhandle region, I got that covered. Anything south of that, of course, Denver. I do stuff in Denver. I've done stuff in Pueblo. I've done stuff in the Springs. And I'm gonna, I'm mobile. So if it's by land, if it's by sea or air, I could get it done. So yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So don't let that Northern Colorado base be the limitation for booking DJ KO out here.
There you go.
Just like to throw out the outbid and shout out another Colorado act right now. Beyond Bridges, their debut single is just released. It's called On My Mind. That single is also available on iTunes right now. The single titled EP, which will be dropping on March 16th, is available for pre-order right now on iTunes as well. Make sure you check out the boys down out of Beyond Bridges. Definitely some great music. On My Mind is going to be playing on the Outbed right here. I'm Jordan Kurtz. This is Comments from the Peanut Gallery. Thank you very much for listening.
My baby gets home from playing in the sand. The beach is down the street, it's in the palm of our hands. And we go every day with the sun or the moonlight. It gets us vibing hard, but it makes us feel just right. Throw a couple back, dance by the fire. The waves are crashing down and I admire all the love in your eyes. It's burning bright like the stars tonight. Whoa, you've been on my mind. You've been on my mind. You've been on my mind, because you're all mine. Yeah, you're all mine. I said I strum my guitar and play her my song, and deep in my heart I know this love's strong like the tide. It's rising up to the piercing night. Whoa, I said the ocean breeze will carry us home, all the way back to Colorado. I will follow you to the mountains top.
He was born in the summer of his 27th year, going home to the place he'd never been before. He left his past behind him. You might say he was born again. You might say he found the key to every door. Colorado, Rocky Mountain, it's softer than a lullaby. Rocky Mountain High, Colorado. Rocky Mountain High, Colorado. Rocky Mountain High, Colorado. Rocky Mountain High, Colorado. You've been on my mind. You've been on my mind. 'Cause you're all mine. Yeah, you're all mine.